everyone for the final installment of our web series today. We would love to hear your feedback at the end of today's episode, so please look for the link to our survey in the description of today's video. We will be choosing a survey winner and providing you with a great gift certificate. So please go through. We would love to hear back from you. And if you have any questions just for any of us on the leadership team with WorkFit, please go ahead and reach out on our website at www.work-fit.com. And we will get back to you as soon as we can with some answers and some support. So today's final topic is really about fulfilling your passion. So to everyone here today, do you have any closing words of motivation or advice that you can give our viewers as both a seasoned athletic trainer, but also as someone who's developed a strong passion for serving in the occupational setting?
Yeah, I would say, just my last piece of advice is, especially for folks that are, coming right out of school, is that there's just really, really basic things. You may not know anything about the industrial setting, but I think making sure that you've got good structure in place for every day that you come into work, that you have a vision, you write it down, you check it off, you've got structure, for a week, for a month. One thing that WorkFit has learned from the business community is some of those business tactics, how to set goals, how to put action plans in place, how to monitor those goals, and how to collaborate on those goals. And I think, from just a basic, starting off a career standpoint, establishing some structure around your day, setting some goals for yourself, for your customer, are both very, very important.
Yeah, and to go along with that, Mike, I tell everybody to, embrace the challenges. What I can promise you, whether you decide that this industrial setting is your career move or this is the end all be all for you, I know that you will be a better professional. You'll be a better healthcare provider. You'll be a better, more well-rounded business person having participated in this setting. So, again, as young people coming into this environment, you may still want to explore some other arenas. You may still have a niche to go do some sports, but at the end of the day, I know this setting will provide you with a lot of challenges and a lot of opportunity to just increase your toolbox, increase your value, and just prepare you for life and for other businesses, other experiences down the road. So, you have a lot to offer. This setting has a lot to offer you back. And I'm biased because I've only been really truly in this setting. So I say, once you get in here, you're probably not going to leave. You'll love this setting. You'll love the work-life balance. You'll love, the relationships and the connectivity. But at the same time, again, this will make you a better whatever you are, any professional that you are, you'll be better. Embrace the challenges, enjoy the ride, and please come aboard, and you'll have a great experience.
Yeah, I would. Go ahead. I would say, no matter what you pursue in your career, but especially in this one, be confident in yourself. There are absolutely amazing athletic training programs out there, and they are preparing you to be great at what you do. So be confident, whether it's your first year out of school, it's your first year in a new setting, or even 10 years into a career. If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you, but go out there, know what you're great at, and continue to build on that no matter what. Because that's really my other point is don't ever stop learning. Don't ever stop getting better. You have so much to offer already. Just think of what you can do for people if you continue to push yourself to be the best that you are at athletic training, at your profession, and at helping people.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm gonna motivate right back into the occupational setting a little bit too, but that's so true. Just the value of an athletic trainer's skills in so many ways, and the flexibility that you have to do what you do no matter where it is. But back to this setting, if you want to make a long-term difference, if you want to challenge your skills, as we've both just all been talking about here, and build those relationships that last a lifetime, and truly impact someone's life and their family, then this is the career for you. Yeah.
And I would step back to one of our previous conversations where you talked about, the employers, the employees are people that you're going to have a relationship for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, however you're long in it. If you think about the athletic setting, how many times did we have athletes that we knew for 4 years, we knew for 2 years, we knew for 5 years? Like we didn't have those long-standing relationships, maybe outside of athletics. But I think this gives you an opportunity to then take their entire health, right? You're working with their health throughout their career. So as they get older, you're able to adjust to that. So I think that's what's exciting about this career, and would give, I think, many athletic trainers that fulfillment they're looking for in what the skills they've learned.
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost, taking the time to get to know someone. It might take, Andy shared earlier this week, 3 weeks for somebody to trust Ben and come ask for help. I had somebody where it took them 16 months, and I would still talk to them, and finally they came in and they asked for help. But then later to hear, that he was able to get down on the ground and play with his granddaughter, and get back up and not have to ask his wife to come help pick him up off the floor because his back pain was so bad. Or then you hear, oh my gosh, I don't drink as much coffee anymore, and I drink water, and I've been sleeping so much better. And you get to get all of these warm fuzzies that, you get on occasion with athletes, because they made it to the championship game or things like that. But if you kind of flip it around and you think about the importance it is to that grandchild who can play with her grandpa, and not have pain, or somebody who now is sleeping better, and how that's going to impact their long-term health, just because of a simple conversation you made, that to me just kind of brings it all back to making health personal, and really helping impact each and every life when we talk to them. And it might take a couple conversations to get there, but they're all worth it in the end if you can make that health personal, and just bring it back to them so they can enjoy their life, and continue to work and share their life with you. And then maybe when they retire, they still email you because they know your email. And, oh my gosh, Candace, I think your birthday's this month. I hope you have a good birthday. This is what I'm doing. And they send you a picture of the cabin that they built or things like that. It's just all worth it. I love it.
Yeah, and on the way opposite end of the spectrum of making health personal, one of the things that I've always really, really appreciate about this environment, first of all, we're incredibly privileged to be able to go into these manufacturing places that are not open to the general public. When I talk to folks about this, I always say, we're right involved in the heartbeat of America right here, right? Manufacturing and business in America. And the mass contribution we're having to that. When we started working with one of our customers years ago, I remember a stat that they had shared was that they contribute, I think, 1/7 of the GDP to the US. And we've got athletic trainers that are contributing at a very, very high level to, the big picture of the US and the US economy. And just think about all the jobs that creates, and all the people that then get to be able to reap the rewards from all of these manufacturing jobs. And I always thought that was a really neat thing, and I've always been proud to be a part of that.
Yeah, you're right about that window into that world, Mike. I always say if people had any concept of the work that goes into producing anything in this country, their minds would be blown, right? And so to be able to work in that environment every day, you're right, absolutely huge privilege. And it's definitely, to Candace's point, a job of warm fuzzies, of, just being able to affect someone's life in such a deep and profound way. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's turn it over to our other WorkFit team members to talk about how this setting fulfills their passion and why they keep doing what they're doing and serving the heartbeat of America. So thanks again for joining us today.
Thanks.
On my second day of work, of my real job, where after the onboarding, I remember I was out there with one of my coworkers at the work site, which was brand new to us. And I said, well, what should we do today? Where do we go? How do we even begin? Because we're kind of defining this as we go. And he said, well, let's just go talk to people. And our goal was really injury reduction, but just being able to say, you know what, let's just go talk to people. And we made so many good friends. There's people that I still see to this very day. But we made so many good friends and really formed a relationship with a team that we were directly working with just by going to say, listen, we're not going to focus on anything else other than go and say hi. Let's figure out who these people are. Let's figure out how to connect and really make the impact from the ground up.
Coming into this setting is be patient. A lot of this setting, again, going back to the barriers, those barriers take time. With patience, you're able to learn how to navigate around them, how to create relationships, and how to use those relationships to be able to best benefit your services.
Absolutely. Don't be afraid to ask questions.
So the largest piece of advice I'd give any clinician entering into the industrial setting is to be open-minded, be creative, but then ask questions. This is not the traditional setting for us. Like, everyone knows a sport of football or the game of volleyball, and you can always know more about it. But coming into our setting at an aerospace manufacturer that I'm at currently, I know nothing about building the product. But what I do on a daily basis is ask a ton of questions, because if I don't know the why or the how I can help that person, then I'm not doing them justice. Like, I'm not being creative enough.
To just be open-minded to how things are done and really see the why behind each piece.
So my advice would be, don't knock it till you try it, and make sure that you remember your basics with athletic training, your prevention education, and personality skills.
My one piece of advice is don't be afraid of what you don't know. I think a lot of people are intimidated that they've never had professional or any sort of formal body mechanics training, or they don't really know how tools or anything work. If you had seen any sort of my handiwork, you would know that even after 7 years, you would not want me building an airplane. But the heart of athletic training is still the same. When you evaluate, let's say, a pitcher's shoulder, you would still do the same sort of things and expect the same sort of outcomes as an evaluation of someone who works overhead all day. The athletic training part is still the same, even though the jobs that these two people were doing may be different.
The learning doesn't stop. If anything, the learning is accelerated again. I feel like a lot of people, they end up, finishing school, they do maybe an internship, they have their clinical experience, and they feel like, I know everything. I know everything. When you come to the industrial setting, there's all new things to learn, and it's kind of exciting because that challenge gets you fired up again.
Be bold. So kind of like I was saying earlier, you have to oftentimes go out of your way to talk to people and to really pull them in and make them make that health personal. And so I think being bold from the start is huge.
We all get into athletic training or the healthcare profession to help people.
I really enjoy being able to help people.
I have always wanted to help people.
To help men and women in their real lives.
So yeah, that passion for just helping people.
With WorkFit and being in the industrial setting, I'm not working with direct athletes playing a sport. These people are playing the sport of life. And we're having such a greater impact on these people's total lives at work and at home. It just becomes about taking care of people and helping them get better.
For me, it means a lot being an industrial athletic trainer. Some unique characteristics, I think, in terms of me and where I work. I happen to be working at a location where I grew up. I've had family members that have worked here and retired here. So it hits close to home in that way. This was the place that raised me. So you feel like you're giving back to your community, as well as, fulfilling your career as a professional.
For me, it's almost had more fulfillment because I've been able to see where people take this, it's their job and it's very serious and you're there to help.
Occupational setting allows me to really impact people's lives beyond just an athletics field.
Well, before this, I was in the scholastic setting for about 10 years. I didn't have any time really to volunteer with NATA and the BOC. And once I left that setting and came to this setting, now my passion for athletic training has really very much bloomed.
At WorkFit, I mean, our goal is to make health personal. So when I run into like the typical factory worker and they have their own desires for what they want to be able to do in their own life, it kind of grounds me a little bit. Like, sports are awesome, but it's not the whole world. There's people that are just trying to be healthy.
I think the passion that drove me to be an athletic trainer is still wanted to be involved with athletics and help people succeed. And that's basically what we do.